Hello everyone and Happy New Year! I'm glad that you're back and welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Michał and this is Star Parade, and today we are doing a little bit of a special thing because I will be showing my WIPs, all of my WIPs, no matter if I worked on them or not, and my finishes. Oh, excuse me. Today we've got 1st of January 2023 and I would like to thank you all for being with me throughout the year, throughout my ups and downs since last year. And I hope that the new year will be much better for us, for all of us, will be gentler and more rewarding overall. So without further ado, I will just start with my WIPs because we've got a lot to go through and I don't want to waste all of your time. Just me mumbling about random things. So most of WIPs that I'm about to show you are from other designers and things that I was working on throughout the years but never managed to finish. So first one that I've got, it is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch kit that I bought. It was a blind saw and I am currently on part 5 out of 6. I'm almost done kind of with it. And this is how it looks like at the moment. I'm stitching it on 32 count even weave. That was fabric of choice for this kit, and this is how far I am with it. I'm still working on the little pond here, and there'll be some stepping stones and some Wellingtons below it. So I'm using cold for the MC that was attached to the kit, and yeah, I'm not really sure if I'll manage to finish it before next year, but I need to reduce amount of my WIPs by half. I will at least try to do that, but it's gonna be hard. I'll be honest with you, it's gonna be hard because I'll be focusing more on my own projects and my own designs next year, and we'll jump into that a little bit further down the video. So Caterpillar Cross Stitch, how does your garden grow on 32 count even weave, and the MC that was called for. Next one along the line, we will have Legend of Zelda. I think it is from Wind Waker series, and this is a pattern done by Avocado Stitchery. This is how it looks. I am stitching only this middle panel over here with Ganon and Link on the horse. So this is a little stitch along that we came up with, well, mostly Leonie came up with, and we're stitching the middle panel together, and I know some of you guys purchased the pattern, and I'm using the Weeks Dye Works floss for this one, stitching on 32. What's with me in the 32 count? I really love 32 count fabric, but this is stitched on the 40 count linen, which is a little bit denser, as you know. And let me have a look. Let me prompt it up for you. I've got my little trusty board and a little clip. There we go. It's pink. Doesn't really matter. So this is how far I am with this design at the moment. It's upside down. Sorry, I would do that. You know, it just cracks me up. I'm so dumb. Sorry, it's just my default. I'm always dumb and do stuff like that all the time. So this is how it looks like at the moment. I've managed to finish Link completely, and I was stitching my way around the border, but this is how far I am at the moment with it. And I really like the variegation of Week Dye Works thread, and I'm using coal and I think monkey something. Monkey green or whatever on this, and I'm stitching it 1/2, and when I'm stitching on it I'm having a blast, believe me, but I haven't touched that WIP in such a long time, but I really need to finish at least one of them next year, because amount of them is getting a little bit overwhelming. I know some of you have 20, even 30 WIPs that you rotate through, but I feel kind of anxious just leaving that in my little sash over here and not touching it at all. So I'll try to at least finish probably one of them next year. Depends how busy I am and how busy my life is gonna be, and how many designs I will, design and want to stitch on my own. But that's the Legend of Zelda. Next one that I've got, it is in this beautiful bag that I received from Leonie Stitchy Madness. She sewed it on her own and is well padded, and it has a little vinyl window, so I exactly know what's inside. I've packed in some floss over there that I'm using for this project, but I haven't stitched on it in quite a while, and which is a shame. It is on 32 count vintage country mocha linen. Let me just prop it up for you. And it is the Great Wave of Kanto, which is mashup of Pokemon and beautiful wave of Kanagawa, a classical painting that I think you can admire in a British Museum, which I have yet to go there. So this is how it looks like. It was a pattern created for fans, by fans, for fans. It is non-profit. You cannot purchase it anywhere. You can get it for free though from one of my friends on Reddit if you're really interested into this pattern. But I really do like it. I had to come up with my own colors for that because it provides only general color scheme without any, specific brands or numbers. So I had to come up with my own color scheme for that. So I'm using a little bit of like a coral for the red Gyarados and electric blue for the blue one. And I was actually working on it earlier this year when I was in Poland and tried to go further with the outline, but I got bored of it, so I tried to fill in some colors instead. And I really do like it, and I really do hope I will finish it sometime next year, because this is one of my favorites. I know I was moaning a bit about it before, that it is not as detailed as I would wish it was, but overall I think the fabric threads and the design work well with each other. So I'll continue working on it hopefully next year. Next thing, it is the beautiful Goddess of Prosperity from Angkor. It's from Maya collection, and this is how she will look like when she's fully done. It is a kit that I purchased from Germany, surprisingly. It was the cheapest one I could find, and I think it was right before the taxes were established, and it was still duty-free actually when I ordered it. So I've purchased it from Germany, and it got here quite relatively quickly. So I'll show you my progress on it. I've swapped in some pieces of the kit. So as you can see, it is not 16 count Ada anymore, it's 32 count Belfast. Linen in vintage country mocha, which is kind of common theme recently with me. And this is how far I am with it, and I'm using my own made little needle minder that was previously a little mirror on the keychain, but mirror broke, so I repurposed it. It got from me from my friend got it from Korea, so, and she gifted me that, so I didn't want to throw it away, so I repurposed it as a needle minder, which is actually something that I will use more often than the keychain. So arguably it is an improvement. Oh, sorry, I've got a little bit of silk on it still. So this is how much I've got done. and I hope to stitch on it even more next year, because it is such a wonderful design. I know it doesn't look like much because it's lacking some crucial elements like backstitching, but I really do like the overall look of it and aesthetic of this beautiful goddess of prosperity, which I've tried to find out a little bit more about her and which actual goddess is that, and I couldn't find get to conclusion which one was it, so I'm just calling it Inari, which is Japanese goddess of prosperity. I don't know if that's accurate or not. She might be Chinese, and she might not be like goddess of prosperity overall. She might be a completely different goddess, but who knows? The only female goddess that I know from Asian culture, it is goddess Inari from Japanese folklore and myths and legends. So I just call her Inari, and that's how I will address her. Next one up the line, it is something you haven't seen in a while, but I've showed it recently because I was kind of working on it a little bit, and these are the tropical frogs that you haven't seen in ages, and I think I'm done with these top 5, so I'm about 30% done with the design, but I haven't stitched on them in ages. I've whipped it out last year for a bit. I think I did 500 to 1,000 stitches on it and put it back to my little sash over here. So I haven't worked on them properly in ages. So many whips. I don't have enough time, unfortunately. I want to stitch more of my designs and come up with more designs for you guys to stitch, so that's why it's taking me ages to, excuse me, actually do anything with the old whips that I personally have, which is a shame. I would wish I could do both. I wish designing what was my kind of job and something that I could do on regular basis and reliably. Is that the word that I'm looking for? Anyway, so I could stitch other people's design as a hobby and focus on my own designs as a part of the job, which I do love actually. So it'll be like a hobby within a hobby actually. So this is how it looks like at the moment, and they're absolutely adorable. I'm still debating if I want to do the back stitching because they look beautiful as they are. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. And this is on 32 count woodland even weave, exclusive to Lakeside Needlecraft, one of my favorite stores that I've been purchasing from recently. They are one of my favorite stores, not only because they have an amazing selection of patterns, but also they sell the cheapest DMC on the market in UK as we speak. So yeah, whenever I need some DMC in bulk, I usually opt out. I mean, not opt out, I just go to their store just to purchase bulk of it. Because it's the cheapest, and you know, why would I spend 3 times or 2 times more in the regular shop, which is local to me, if I can have it much cheaper? I only go to my local needlework store if I need something urgently. I'm missing one specific color. So that's a good way of me to keep balance with my stitching and my spendings on stitching actually. So yeah, next thing, it is a creation from our beautiful friend and amazing colleague Jacob de Graaf from Modern Folk Embroidery, stitched on 32 count Belfast white linen, and it is called, as we can clearly see, Kindness and Fortitude. And this is part of the saw of my wonderful friend Betsy Klager and her Stupid Tumor saw, which I am probably like 2 years or 3 years behind right now, and I'm sorry, Betsy. Just doing something else at the moment. But this was initially a monochrome design, stitched on the dark gray linen with some cream thread or white thread, but I decided to give it a touch of color, and this is how it looks like. I'm not really sure how far I am with this one, but I'm pretty sure I'm over 30% done with this. I had to do some frogging previously here, and I can still see the holes that I made. Well, that's just perfect, isn't it? And thankfully, from what I can see, linen is still white, which is not always the case, as we know, with stuff, which I will get to that a little bit later. So it sits in my beautiful Amazon green bag, which protects it from dust and other elements, which is usually my own like spit particles. Next one that we've got, it is something that I haven't stitched as well in a while. It is Owl Forest embroidery, 100 owls, which also my friend Chris is taking part of, but we haven't stitched on it, both of us, last year pretty much at all. I think I did the third part not a long time ago, but this is how it looks like. And I really love the center motif of it, which is this beautiful owl. I forgot how it's called. It's probably long-eared owl, but you look at those two barn owls on top of it. So the very first motif over here, this big one was the first one. The two barn owls in the motif in the middle was the second, and the third one was all those owls and motifs over here. I don't know what I will do with this as we speak. I will try to do at least part 4 next year, but I don't know how busy I will be with my own designs. Because I really do enjoy designing. I found it so enjoyable that I want to release even more patterns and stitch even more of my designs, so I don't know what to do. I have so many WIPs that I would love to finish, but my own designs are taking priority at the moment. I will have to find some kind of balance with that, because designing, as lovely as it is just a little too much. If you know what I'm talking about, it is not something that I kind of treat it as a job per se, but I already have a job, so it is kind of a second job to me, which is kind of tiring at times. So I have to find a good balance between stitching my own design and stitching other people's design for fun. So I wish that this is my New Year's resolution: find more balance in life for next year, and between stitching my own design and stitching other people's design, I have to find that that sweet center and balance between these two. Otherwise, I'll just go mental. I'll just decide to say, screw it. I'll just do my own stuff from now on and just stash them until I'm 70 and retired, so I can just go back to those designs. But I have no idea. As we speak, I have no idea what to do, really. So I'll have to figure that one out. And last but not least, it is Curry Camo beautiful roosters, which is a Polish folk design, which usually is very, very colorful and vibrant, but I've decided to use bronze version of it, and it is a little bit neglected, I will not lie, and this is how it looks like. So I'm not really sure how far I am with the design. I haven't looked at the pattern keeper recently, so it is hard for me to tell you, but I think I'm definitely past 20% on this. It is not a humongous design, but I wish I could stitch on it more, really. It's a common theme with me, you might say. Oh, he wishes to do that, but he never does. But he never does. Yeah, I know, I'm guilty of that, but there's so many things that I would like to stitch, and don't have time for, that it makes me kind of sad, and I don't know, I should really reevaluate my stitchy time because stitching should bring you happiness, not feel like you are overwhelmed by it. So let me have a look. Yeah, that concludes my WIP parade, kinda. Let's go to the finishes parade, which also not in particular order. I'm just gonna show you stuff that I did, and hopefully you will enjoy it. So the first one, it is the Halloween cats that I fully finished this year, but I finished the design, I think, at the moment, it was 2 years ago, 2021, I finished stitching it, I think, right on Halloween. And I finished on a hoop and glued a little bit of orange felt back to the back of it to resemble a pumpkin. So this is how it looks like, and I will display it every Halloween now because I finally have a piece I can display. And I'll just set it over here because it has been sitting there for quite a while now, and I think it's his favorite place to sit. Next thing on the list would be my strawberry fields that were fully finished this year. I got it back from Framers in February. And they look, this cross-stitch piece, it is my very first design, so I wanted to treat it properly and give it the attention it deserves. It is something that I designed for me and my partner because we were planning to move in to a house together, and it was something that I thought, after seeing the quote, something that I wanted to create around it. And this is us over here picking up some strawberries. This is a museum type glass, so it is an amazing finish, and it is sitting, it is hanging on in our living room, proudly presenting, and people are always interested what in the world is that, and I tell them the story and they're just like, oh, that's so cute. They're melting over it. So it is one of my favorite pieces, and it is proudly presented in this beautiful frame. Next one down the line, we've got another one of my finishes, which is nautical, and it is my very first sampler type of cross stitching. It has an amazing frame, which reminds me of part of a sunken ship that is represented over here. It was one of my favorite designs from last year, and everyone that I spoke with really wanted to stitch it. So it is available in my shop if you want to. And I was a little bit lazy with it, and as you know, as I had some problems with this particular frame because it squished some of my stitches, but I took it to the framers and they fixed it wonderfully. All they had to do is put a little passport 2, so a little bit tiny cardboard around it to lift the glass a little bit further, so my stitches weren't squished anymore. And honestly, I was a little bit of, lazy with stitching because, as you can see, I think you can see that I dragged my floss a little bit on this one. So yeah, overall, wonderful. I love it. And it is probably hanging over here behind me usually. So I will just stand up now and hopefully not ruin anything. And just hang them where they're supposed to be. Is it? This way. There we go. It's kind of straight. Not really. Just like me. Blah, blah, blah. Next one, we've got a Thumbelina. Another cross stitch that I've designed. We've got a lot of them actually. As you can see, I primarily focused on my own designs this year at least. So it is done on 32 count spotted gray Zweigart fabric. It is even weave, and I used I wanted to use variegated threads, but I also wanted to use something that is widely available. and that's why I've used DMC. So this is how she looks like. If I redid this little pattern or restitched it, I would probably skip the black beady eye and just stitch it all in flesh, just because, and probably chose my colors a little bit differently, because some of them are too dark or too light for this fabric. It's solely the balance between fabric and thread, but over the overall design, I'm really happy about it, and I think it looks amazing. And it was a little bit of a challenge because I wanted to make something that is 100 over 100 stitches, so it is a perfect square. And it is less than, I think, 5,000 stitches, if I remember correctly. Probably not, but it was an amazing little stitch, and I really did enjoy stitching it. I think I finished this one actually within a week after designing it. I just pick up my threads from my sash and just stitched it. It was fun. Next one up the line, we've got Poinatamor, little tadpole thing that we as a corset community collectively stitched, and it was displayed and made a little animation of the tadpole, of Journey of the Tadpole. It was a fun little stitch, and I was happy to be a part of this. So yeah, it was just fun little stitch, and this was first time me purchasing 14 count Ada recently, and I still have a big sheet of it behind me in the sash. I will probably not use it for anything else. Maybe for next year iteration of this little project, maybe I'll just do it again and whip out my trusty old 14 count Ada and stitch it again. Who knows? Maybe I'll participate. Who knows? But this is my teeny tiny little finish. It took me 2 hours or something like that to finish this. And yeah, he lives there now on my carpet. Next one would be another design that I've came up with and stitched. Let me just unfold it for you guys so I can proudly present it. And it is my very own beautiful, beautiful sampler, full-fledged sampler this time. It lacks some alphabets in it, but well, it is a Quaker sampler with some medallions at least. So whoop-de-doo, here we go, I guess. And here it is. It is my Quaker sampler, and it has a lot of motifs with ducks in it. Let me just show you that properly. Oh yeah, there we go. Here is that beauty, and it is quite big actually. It is a little bit over 1,400 stitches. 1,400? No, that's a lie. It's 14,000 stitches, and it is done on 32 count beautiful linen in this kind of dark murky blue, and I've used Gentle Art simply shaker thread in linen color, and it has this little you know, yellow tint to it from time to time, and it is looking absolutely marvelous. I think I did an amazing job with picking color of the thread with the color of the fabric, and it shows it amazingly. I'm not planning to frame it anytime soon because I want to take that with me to a stitchy retreat so I can show people how it looks like in real life. So hopefully more people can purchase my design and support me by that, because I've used, I think, 12 Gentle Art threads, skeins for it, and they are not the cheapest ones on the market, I tell you that, but they look absolutely amazing. If you can splurge a little bit and get yourself a better, like a variegated, nicely variegated thread from Gentle Art, I would highly recommend it. Otherwise, you can probably use a cream color of DMC if you want to substitute it for something cheaper. But yeah, this is one of my favorite designs that I did. And I will show you immediately another one that I finished quite recently after my September holiday trip, which was full of emotions actually, if you know what I mean. And it is on 32 count silvery moon Zweigart fabric, I believe. Yeah, Belfast, yes. And I've used also Gentle Art wrought iron thread, which is black, beautiful black, little bit variegated thread with a little hint of blue in it, so it looks absolutely fabulous. And all of those designs that you see, including Griffin and this obese peacock, sorry, I lost my word for a second, were designed after the beautiful palace of Knossos in Crete, and it is absolutely amazing. I really love it. I could probably re-release that with a slightly different border, which could use a little bit less of thread if you want me to, if that's too much for you. But it is a beautiful, beautiful design. I'm really proud of it, and it will always remind me about our trip to Crete and Greece. So yeah, this is how it looks like, and I really do love it. I will just fold it up nicely, just one moment. I just gently like roll them into a little tube that I've got. I need to purchase a bigger one because they stick out of it a little bit, as you can see. But this is how I will transport them for the Stitchy retreat, in this little tube when I have a chance to go. I'm going to Basel this year actually, September. So if you want to join me there and you are, based in Europe, please tell me that you're going and say hi, and I would like to talk with you guys and see what you think. We can share some thoughts, we can share our favorite materials, what kind of flosses we like, what kind of fabric we like, what kind of needles do we use. It'll be simply amazing to meet all of you, at least whoever is able to go there, because I know it's in Switzerland, it's quite far. But on the other hand, I'm also planning to go to Big Stitch UK 2024. So hopefully, if you are not able to make it to Basel, I'll see you there in 2 years. I'm still waiting for the invoice to come through so I can pay for my little fee to save my spot, but I still haven't got it yet. So maybe I'll check my spam email. Maybe they've sent it already, but I haven't really. I wasn't able to spot it properly. But that's that. Another one that I'm not able to show you, it is the Texas outline of the state that was already my partner when he was on training in Texas this year. He took it and he passed it to one of my friends from Texas, and she loves it. And I finished it also on hoop, similar to the little Halloween cats over here. So I hope I've got a picture somewhere, so I'll try to insert it so you can see how it looks like. Next one in the line that I finished would be, just a moment, let me just move that's for later. It is the winter tapestry on 32 count fabric. I've used metallic thread blend with normal thread, so it has this beautiful shimmer of metallic threads, and this is another one of my designs, and it is more of a Scandinavian type of sampler, but it is in kind of wintry Christmas fashion. So it has a lot of ornaments. It has there's alphabet, some reindeers, a little bit of like a little hut in the forest, and Starry Night. Those beautiful motifs are here. And I finished it entirely by myself. I just stitched the back of it. This is the last top line of it, I just folded the fabric and stitched them together. So it's a little bit of wonky, but I was able to, you know, DIY it basically. And if I ever need to take it with me for a stitchy retreat or something like that, I can just roll it up and take it with me, which is very handy. So that's why I've decided to finish it just like that, and it's hanging downstairs near the entrance so everyone can see it, which is mainly me and my partner because no one ever visits us. I don't know why. I don't have any friends. Now I do, mostly stitchy friends, but they're not local. So yeah, I'm sad and lonely. I'm just being a goofy goober. It's fine. Next thing up, it is one of my own designs. Shocker, I know. Another one. And it is called Santa's Favorite Hoe. I've just recently finished that. It was my last finish of the year. I finished on the 31st of December on New Year's Eve, and I am really happy about it. This is how it looks. You can purchase it on my Etsy shop, like all of my designs. So if you want to stitch something Christmassy in January, here we have a chance. My voice is kind of breaking down. Sorry, excuse me. So this is a little bit over 5,000 stitches. I think it's 5,340 stitches overall. And it is a perfect square, so you can, you know, if you have a big enough soluble canvas, you can stitch it on someone's shirt and gift it to them next year, or hang it somewhere. I don't know. Do whatever you want with this. But I don't know if I want to finish it, because this is one of the pieces that I want to take with me for a retreat, just to show people one of my kind of quirky designs, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and that concludes all my finishes. Now let's go to the haul and what I've actually purchased and got. So next year will be full of my own designs, to be honest. I will try to work very hard to make more patterns and design more patterns and stitch more patterns, but my partner, when he was in Texas, he bought me a few pins over there, like this beautiful, like fun adventure pins with some whales flying through the cosmos and a little Psyduck saying "What the duck," which actually would be an amazing needle minder for my quacker when I think of it. Little fox in glasses. Oh, sorry. Little fox in the glasses reading stuff. This is very cute and adorable. And last but not least, another whale made into a ship, which is very adorable. So I'll probably make some needle minders out of them, but some of them are like, you know, a lot. It'll be a shame for me to use them as needle minders. I'll probably stick them somewhere on my backpack or something like that, but we shall see. I really like this little, it was a stocking filler, so it is a wonderful little gift. He also got me those copper compression gloves for Christmas, because if I stitch a lot, I tend to have problems with this tendon over here, so it might help me with some stitching. So whenever I do a prolonged stitching session, and I know I'll be stitching for at least few hours, I started to put these bad boys on, and hopefully it'll prevent me from getting any tendonitis or any problems in my hands in the future. But you know, if I'm stitching only for an hour or 2 hours, there's no point really of me using this, but I really do appreciate that, and it is meant to be for me to use for longer stitching sessions, which probably are coming next year, so I'm really grateful to have these gloves to wear. Another thing that he bought me was some fabric. He got me some natural Belfast linen, 2 of these. It's 18 by 27 inches, or for us in Europe, 45 by 68 centimeters. These are quite big, like fat chunks of linen in 32 count, which is an amazing gift. I am very grateful for it because I'm really into like earth tones. Jesus, that took quite a while for me to get that word. Speaking of earth tones, he was able to get me the 32 count mustard fabric from Zweigart. It is, all of them are smaller, that are approximately 11 by 18 inches or 27 by 45 centimeters. Also, he got me one in spa color, whatever that means. It is light blue, similar, very similar to one that I've got that I stitched the ducks on, and the other one is rust 32 count. It's more reddish but still kind of earth tony, which is an amazing gift. Thank you so much. I will use them for my designs. And I was going through my stash recently and I found fabric that has been there since forever. I bought it when I first started cross-stitching or got back to cross-stitching. It was 32 count, antique white even weave. And I found out that it was stained in the middle. So I decided to give a coffee dyeing a chance and try. And I've dyed this fabric myself. And this is how it looks like. It almost looks like the not antique white, the vintage country mocha, that's the word. But it's more brownish and has a tint of yellow in it, and I've did it in such a way that it has some modeling even. So I was able to produce some modeling on it, which I'm all for, as you can see, maybe, hopefully. And I dyed it myself, and it smells like coffee. And I love it, and I'm going to use it for one of my designs because I like the brownish tint of it, and I'm really happy that I was able to do that, and it actually worked. It actually worked, which is an amazing achievement to me. I know probably coffee dyeing is not a rocket science to most of you guys, and you know how to do it, but I've tried it for the very first time. I was so hesitant to try it, but I thought, this fabric is already stained, so I might as well do something with it. I don't want to throw it away, and this is how it looks like. And I'm so happy about it, and I'm gonna use it, and it's gonna be amazing. So that's that. And I've got 2 bags over here of my recent purchases and gifts. So I have a full bag of gentle art threads that I've ordered. And there's a lot of colors in there and a lot of bulk of some colors, because I am trying to design some cross stitching and patterns around it, and this is the one that I've used for my Quacker and for the Griffin sampler. This is just to replenish my stock, and I will be using a lot of this next year. I am preparing myself for next year, and I already made the purchases, so I will not have to stress myself about, you know, getting more thread or spending much more money on thread when I already have it, right? I was just thinking a bit forward into the future. Over here with those, at least like 5 or 6 designs can be made and should be made, and hopefully will be made next year. Hopefully I'll be able to use every single color here and every single thread, because I don't want to waste any of it. And this was gift to myself. This was gift to myself for next year, and I will be able to make more beautiful cross stitch patterns for you guys. It has a little bit of blues, a lot of reds, oranges, blacks and browns, so I'm planning to do more next year. So hopefully you'll stay tuned and see what I will come up with, which hopefully will be soon. Well then, I think that concludes the haul and all plans for the new year, and it was amazing to see you again, and hopefully you'll have an amazing year ahead of you. I know I do. We have, both of us, me and my partner, have a lot of plans for next year, and I can't wait to see what this year will bring, and hopefully it will be all love and happiness. So yeah, take care everyone. It was lovely to see you again, and see you next time. Bye.